Have you ever wondered what life is really like for someone constantly in the public eye? Sarah Palin, a name synonymous with politics and controversy, has a personal life filled with stories that many have never heard. But here's the twist: behind the headlines, there's a family dynamic that's both unexpected and extraordinary. From heartfelt moments to unbelievable challenges, the life of her family is anything but ordinary. What's the untold story that shaped her into the person we know today? And how has her family been a source of both strength and vulnerability? Stick around until the end, because there's one story about the Palins that completely redefines what you think you know about them. It's the kind of insight that makes you see everything in a new light. Sarah Palin is a name that instantly sparks recognition. Most people remember her as the outspoken governor of Alaska, who became the Republican vice presidential candidate in 2008. But while the world focused on her political ambitions, few took the time to look beyond the public image. What's fascinating is how her family played a role, even in the spotlight. Palin herself once said, "My family is my foundation." But what does that foundation actually look like? From juggling her demanding career to being a hands-on mother, her life has always been a balancing act. Her husband, Todd Palin, known as the First Dude during her governorship, wasn't just a supportive partner. He was also a commercial fisherman and oil field worker, roles that kept him grounded despite the whirlwind of politics. Their 5 children Bristol, Willow, Piper, and Trig each brought their own unique stories to the table. But here's something you might not know. While Sarah Palin often spoke about traditional family values, her family has faced challenges that pushed those values to their limits. There's one family decision they made that shocked even her closest followers. More on that later. For now, let's keep building the picture of how her family shaped her public and private life, while holding on to a secret that you won't believe when you hear it. Sarah Palin's family life is a unique blend of tradition and modern challenges. At the heart of it all is a deep commitment to staying connected, even as life pulled them in different directions. Todd Palin, often called the rock of the family, balanced the demands of his blue-collar work with his role as a father and husband. While Sarah was on the campaign trail or in the governor's office, Todd was often at home, holding things together. But let's talk about the children. Bristol Palin, the eldest daughter, became a household name when her teenage pregnancy made headlines during her mother's vice presidential campaign. What followed wasn't just public scrutiny, it was a family rallying together to support one of their own. That moment showed the strength of their bond, even when facing national criticism. Then there's Trig, Sarah and Todd's youngest son, who was born with Down syndrome. His arrival brought new challenges but also inspired countless people who saw the family's unwavering love for him. Sarah once described Trig as a gift, and his story became a central part of her narrative, showcasing the family's resilience. The Palin household wasn't just about navigating life's ups and downs. They had their own traditions like snowmobiling trips and fishing adventures that kept them grounded in their Alaskan roots. But here's the thing, while these moments seemed picture-perfect, not everything was as it seemed. There's a decision Sarah made regarding her family during her political career that left even her supporters divided. That choice, one of the most difficult she's ever faced, reveals just how far she was willing to go to protect her family. And you'll want to hear about it in the next section. Life in the spotlight can magnify even the smallest challenges, and for Sarah Palin's family, it was no different. One of the toughest battles they faced was living under constant media scrutiny. Every choice, every mistake, and every triumph was dissected by the public, often in ways that felt deeply personal. For Bristol, her teenage pregnancy became a national talking point, with critics questioning the values her family stood for. But rather than retreat, the Palins leaned into their faith and resilience, standing by Bristol as she navigated the pressures of young motherhood in the public eye. It was a test of their unity and one they met head-on. And then there was the strain on Sarah and Todd's marriage. Todd's quiet strength was often overshadowed by Sarah's high-profile career, leading to speculation and rumors about their relationship. While many couples might buckle under such pressure, the Palins worked to keep their family intact, even as challenges mounted behind the scenes. Perhaps the most defining struggle was Sarah's decision to step down as Alaska's governor in 2009. It was a move that shocked many, but for her it was about protecting her family from the relentless attacks and giving them a chance to breathe. She later said it was one of the hardest choices she ever made, but also the most necessary. But even through all these challenges, the Palins never lost sight of what mattered most. They kept their focus on each other, showing that even under the harshest spotlight, family comes first. In the next section, we'll reveal the surprising moments of triumph that emerged from these struggles, moments that might just change how you see the Palin family. Despite the challenges, Sarah Palin's family has had their share of uplifting moments that remind us of their strength and unity. One of the most touching examples is how they embraced Trig's journey. Raising a child with Down syndrome brought the family closer, teaching them patience, compassion, and the importance of celebrating life's small victories. Sarah often describes Trig as her greatest blessing, a sentiment shared by the entire family. Bristol's story also took a positive turn. After years of public scrutiny, she became a voice for young mothers, using her experiences to advocate for teen pregnancy prevention. Her resilience and ability to transform personal trials into a message of empowerment became an inspiring chapter in the Palin family story. Another highlight is the family's continued bond with their Alaskan roots. Whether it's through fishing trips, snowmobiling adventures, or simply enjoying the rugged beauty of their home state, the Palins have always found joy in staying true to who they are. These traditions have kept them grounded, providing a sense of stability amidst life's chaos. One particularly joyful moment came when the family gathered for Todd's championship win in the Iron Dog, the world's longest snowmobile race. It wasn't just about the trophy, it was about a father proving that determination and grit can lead to extraordinary accomplishments. But there's one unexpected triumph the Palins achieved that many might not realize, a decision that shaped their family's future in a way few predicted. Stay with us, because in the next section we'll uncover how this bold choice defined who they are today. There's one decision Sarah Palin made that surprised even her closest supporters and critics alike. When she stepped down as governor of Alaska in 2009, it wasn't because she had given up on her political ambitions. It was a choice driven by her desire to protect her family from the relentless pressures of public life. This wasn't an easy move. Walking away from such a prominent position left her open to harsh criticism, with many accusing her of quitting. But for Sarah, it wasn't about abandoning her responsibilities, it was about prioritizing what mattered most. She believed her family needed her presence more than Alaska needed her leadership. That bold decision allowed the Palins to regroup and refocus. Todd returned to his passions, including competitive snowmobiling, while Sarah found new ways to connect with the public through speaking engagements and television projects. The kids, once under intense scrutiny, were given a chance to find their own paths outside the media's harsh glare. This turning point wasn't just about survival, it was about reclaiming their lives. It's a reminder that sometimes stepping back can be the most courageous step forward. For the Palins, this choice became a defining moment that reshaped their story, showing the world that family comes first even when it means taking risks. But what's the lasting legacy of these choices? In the next section, we'll uncover how the Palin story continues to evolve and why their journey holds a surprising lesson for all of us. You won't want to miss this final perspective. It's the key to understanding what truly sets them apart. The story of Sarah Palin's family isn't just about politics or public scrutiny, it's about perseverance, choices, and staying true to their values. While their time in the spotlight brought challenges, it also highlighted the strength of bond. Through triumphs and setbacks, the Palins proved that family can weather any storm when united. Today, the legacy they carry isn't defined by political campaigns or media controversies, it's the lessons they've passed on. Whether it's Bristol's advocacy for young mothers, Todd's quiet resilience, or the joy and inspiration Trig brings to their lives, the Palins have shown what it means to grow together as a family. But here's the twist, their story isn't over. The decisions they made continue to shape their lives in unexpected ways. And perhaps that's the biggest takeaway, their willingness to adapt, to prioritize, and to cherish the bonds that hold them together is a message anyone can learn from. So, here's the reward for staying with us till the end. The next time you hear the name Sarah Palin, it won't just remind you of a politician or a headline. It will remind you of a family that faced it all, stood firm, and found their own kind of success. Now, here's your turn. Think about the choices you make for the people you care about. How would you define your legacy? Share your thoughts, because every story has its own lessons and yours might inspire someone else.